Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater. And you know, the DCEU is currently going through a bit of a rebranding, right? We know that after the supreme grim dark Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman even, Suicide Squad, and even Justice League to an extent, fans have been wanting something more lighthearted. Aquaman opens in just a few weeks and it looks a lot more lighthearted and it looks like a lot more fun. But another thing that DC's trying to do is really push Shazam on us. They really want the Zachary Levi superhero film to be something that's going to appeal to people of all ages, especially the younger demographic. More of a child-friendly, young adult-friendly superhero film than something you might see in regards to Marvel. It really is taking it outside of the norm. And it could be good, especially now that the official synopsis has hit the web. And yesterday I talked about the Joker synopsis and how terrible it was, because the synopsis that they used was just like, it's not even really a synopsis. It's just like a theme for the film, a gritty character, study. Who cares? Who cares? When I'm looking at comic book movies, I'm not looking for the character study told to me in the synopsis. I'm looking for the story of the character and the journey, the trials, the tribulations, the actions that person undergoes in order to achieve their ultimate goal. That's what I'm looking for, not that kind of crap. Now, when you look at Shazam, when you look at the trailers for Shazam, what do you see? Well, you see almost like a superhero retelling of the movie Big. And there's nothing wrong with that. Big was a great movie. It is a great movie. It still is over 30 years later. And it's one that I think a lot of people out there are going to relate to when they watch Shazam when it comes out. But according to comicbookmovie.com, this is what they say here. We all have a superhero inside us. It just takes a bit of magic to bring it out. In Billy Batson's case, shouting out one word, Shazam, the streetwise 14-year-old foster kid can turn into the adult superhero Shazam, courtesy of an ancient wizard. Still a kid at heart inside a ripped godlike body, Shazam revels in his adult version of himself by doing what any teen would do with superpowers. Have fun with them. Can he fly? Does he have X-ray vision? Can he shoot lightning from his hands? Can he skip social studies test? Shazam sets out to test the limits of his abilities with the joyful recklessness of a child, but he'll need to master these powers quickly in order to fight the deadly forces of the evil controlled by Dr. Thaddeus Sivana. And that's the plot. That's the synopsis. Way better than what they put out for Joker, 100%. And it does sound like Tom Hanks was given superpowers and it's him testing them out. What would you do if you were a 14-year-old who could turn into the body of a ripped adult and you could do whatever you want? Well, I mean, in reality, it would be probably a whole lot of drinking and a whole lot of sex. Let's just be fair on that. It would be a whole bunch of going balls deep. No, just the tip, straight up balls deep. That's what it would be like. But this is a PG-13, kid-friendly movie that's not going to talk about the whole porn aspect. At least they might make some jokes like, hey, you want to go buy me that penthouse because it's not a dated reference, kid? That's what I think is going to happen here. By the way, can we just also quickly point out the fact that Asher Angel, who is playing Billy Batson, looks like a male version of Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones? Can I just throw that one out there? Because I've noticed that since the Comic-Con trailer. It's a bit creepy. But anyway, the point here is that the synopsis seems interesting. It's nothing we didn't really already know, but the idea here, it says, Shazam sets out to test the limits of his abilities with the joyful recklessness of a child, but he'll need to master the abilities in order to fight Dr. Thaddeus Sivana. Okay, cool. So he's going to be learning the powers. I think a lot of the movie's second act is going to be all about the testing of the powers. We saw a lot of that in the first trailer with them doing the different types of flight tests and things like that, and trying to see exactly what Shazam can do. And that's going to be a lot of fun. That's where I think a lot of the heart and soul of the movie is going to be. Hopefully Mark Strong coming back into being a DC villain will actually be given the opportunity to thrive in that particular role. We'll be able to actually have a good characterization and not just be a one-note villain. But I think this movie is going to focus more on the comedy. It's going to focus more on appealing to the younger audiences and maybe telling a better coming of age story versus a superhero story that's kind of wrapped within that. I do feel that based upon this, it's because he's a kid at heart, but he's inside a ripped godlike body, right? Like what does that tell you? What does that say? What kind of narrative is that going to spin? You know what I mean? That's kind of how I view it. I view it as being something along those lines that, if not played properly, is going to end up just being very odd. And not a lot of people, I think, are going to be super into it. Again, Shazam at this point has everything to lose on its own, right? The trailers look good, but as we've pointed out before multiple times, DC is terrible at marketing. Warner Brothers is terrible at marketing. For some reason, their marketing department is just garbage. Hopefully with the AT&T buyout, they can, bring in some better people to actually market these films to gain an audience. But in the meantime, I'm still like hopeful, but the synopsis doesn't wow me as much as I would hope, because it seems to focus more on a teenager being a teenager with superpowers rather than a teenager becoming a teenager with superpowers having to train to fight a bad guy. It's going to focus more on the comedy rather than the story. And I could be wrong. I could entirely be wrong, and I hope that I am. I just want to make that abundantly clear. I hope that I am wrong and that the movie is a solid, great experience. But we'll have to wait to March to find out, and this isn't really filling me with a lot of hope. Anyway, what do you guys think about this, right? Do you feel that this is going to be a good movie? Is this just another one of those DCEU films that's destined for the discount bin? Is it a one-time watch? Do you think Zachary Levi is going to be able to pull it off as Shazam? Where do you think this sits in the DCEU as a whole? I am curious to know your thoughts. Go ahead and write them down below. And if you guys are typing it out, go ahead and slap on a like and subscribe to the channel and check back often for more content from me. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day and peace out.